Hey everyone, welcome back to Inspired, a new digital series partnered with Afro Chic and Color Create Media and powered by Shopify. Today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Ward 3 Etobicoke Lakeshore candidate Amber Morley. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
So Amber, tell us more about you, more about how you got into politics.
Yeah, so I am a Torontonian, very proud to be. Like many Torontonians, I hail from numerous different backgrounds. My father is Bahamian, my mother's Canadian, so I have a very diverse experience, as I feel like is very reflective of our city. I have always been really passionate about serving the community. I started volunteering at a very young age. I was always that girl, putting up my hand to help out and trying to find opportunities to be engaged and to work with people. I've worked very hard over the number of years, really honing my leadership skills, serving on boards across the community and across the city. And so I've always felt a sense of responsibility to serve community, to pay it forward. I was lucky to be served very well through different programs and services in my community. And so as I have grown and seen where some of the challenges lie and some of the gaps exist, I've sort of made it my purpose to try to address those and to fill gaps and support individuals who are being pushed to the margins, especially.
So tell us why you're running. Why is this so important for you, especially at a time like this?
Yeah, I've always been interested in serving the community. I started volunteering in my local neighborhood when I was about 11 years old. I've always just been like, wanting to help, teacher's helper, whatever I could do, volunteering in the Breakfast Club as a kid. I was raised by a single mom in Etobicoke Lakeshore, and I was really lucky to have an incredible community and a lot of support from my community. So as I continue to grow up and navigate the city and explore different corners of the city, I got to see how some of the challenges that we have in our communities are impacting the day-to-day lives of folks, young people, families, and seniors. So I just sort of spent my adolescence working in community centers, serving on boards, trying to put my energy wherever I felt like I could add value to making better communities. So that's just always been my passion, and so I've followed it all the way to running for city council.
That's very exciting. Now, as a woman of color, if you are elected, how will you ensure that the voices and issues of marginalized people are heard?
I think it's important to listen to communities. It's one of the most important part of leadership, I think, is being a good listener and understanding, having close proximity to the communities that you're serving. So for me, I live in the community I was raised in. I was raised in a cooperative, and I still live there to this day. I serve on the board there, and I have no intention on leaving until, my life evolves further into, maybe a husband and family and whatever else. But for right now, I'm really comfortable where I am, and that's in the community, again, that raised me, and I want to make it the best that it can be. And so staying close, keeping, my feet on the ground and my ears open, keeping close connections to community, I think I will be able to do them justice by serving them at City Council.
So your tagline is "More with Amber Morley."
Yes, it is. More with Morley. Yeah.
How will the community, the Lakeshore Etobicoke community, get more with you?
So I plan to show up every single day and get busy at work. I plan to engage with my constituents and the stakeholders that are affected by the files that I'm managing and dealing with. And so I think that's, again, what leadership is about. It's about collaboration. It's about listening, and it's about representing the needs of the community who entrusted you to serve them. And so in my experience, that hasn't always been the case, especially in my own community. I have a representative who I don't feel like represents my needs and interests and hasn't always been accessible and engaging. And so for me, I figured I could do better, and that's why I'm running. I went to work at City Hall. I've been there the last 5 years, really learning the system from the inside, how it works, how I can impact change in the most meaningful ways. And I'm ready. I'm ready to bring my skills forward and to serve my community. So I hope to have their trust, and I look forward to shaking things up at City Hall for sure.
So you mentioned that you still live in the cooperative that you were raised in today. As you know, we have a huge housing crisis, not just for affordable housing, but also for supportive housing, people with lived experience of mental health issues and homelessness. What's your platform surrounding housing?
So You're absolutely right. We have a huge crisis in the city of Toronto, and it's not for lack of construction, it's not for lack of building. So when you look around, you see we've got a construction boom. There are condos being built. You know, I think there was 16,000 new units just last year. And so we just need to make sure that the leaders in place are responsive to the needs of our communities. So we see inequality is continuing to grow. We see poverty is a huge issue, and the issues you mentioned around mental health and other things that spur from that, addiction. Folks require supportive housing, but if we don't have counselors in place and leaders in our government who understand that and who are willing to make those investments, we're going to continue to pay for it in the long run in our police services budgets, in our EMS, emergency services budgets, and in temporary things like shelter housing, as opposed to just getting to work on building the long-term solutions that we know is required to support healthy communities and support individuals, especially those on the margins and those who have different lived experiences and or maybe struggling. So it's really a challenge and a policy challenge, and that really falls down to the kind of leaders we have, the lived experiences that they have, and the kind of issues that they're advocating for. So is it for-profit condos, and are we really going to emphasize that, or are we really going to start to take a hard look at how we can do better to support each other in our city?
So for millennials who don't think that their vote matters, this is a digital series.
Yes.
So how can you sort of drive home the fact that everyone does actually need to get out and vote?
So it is a digital era, and it's absolutely important that youth get out to vote. Everyone gets out to vote. This is something that we haven't always had the right to do. So we should really appreciate the privilege, but also I think it's important to understand that if there's a specific population who aren't struggling, who don't have challenges, who are showing up to vote, their needs and interests are going to continue to be represented, and supportive housing, issues specific to youth and seniors, marginalized communities, they're going to continue to fall to the wayside. So if you want to have your issues addressed, if you want to have leaders in place who are actually getting to work every single day to make Toronto the best it can be for everyone here, you have to get out and vote. So advance polls are October 10th to the 14th, and election day is October 22nd. I know it feels like it's rigged, it doesn't matter, folks get really apathetic about the way that our system is built, but I've been on the inside of the system and I know how change is made. You have to exercise your vote, and the rest will come.